Drex, you got TV.
Starting from the top. Nigga tell you anything but what a nigga done for your motherfucking ass, nigga.
I know these niggas will change on me. I had to get up and change up. Couple of my niggas done changed up. They ain't wanna see my change up. Don't change on me. Yeah. Hey, don't change on me. Yeah. Hey, I know these niggas will change on me. I had to get up and change up. Couple of my niggas done changed up. They ain't wanna see my change up. Don't change on me. Yeah. Hey, don't change on me. Yeah. Hey, yeah, don't change on me. I don't see why you wanna change on me. Don't change on me. Got a lot of pots flying high, got a lot of blood stains on me. Now I gotta love you from a distance, can't cry on me. You can't rely on me no more, no more.
All right, we got our boy Montego in here with us. That was his song. Greetings, y'all. I am Mother Alien, and this is the Cosmic Cast. Thank you for tuning in. We're live every Sunday. Thank you for VBS Media for always hosting us. Today on my Cosmic Crew, I have our boy Drex. And I got our girl Mimi Soul.
What's good, y'all?
And of course, we got the chef cooking in the kitchen.
It's on my clothes, you already know.
And today we have a special earthling. I can't call him an alien yet because we're trying to abduct him. But that was his song playing to...
Producer chiming in. That was a mistake. That wasn't his song.
I was like, I don't know. I thought that was like y'all theme song, y'all like you know what I'm saying? Y'all come on like who is that?
Oh my God. Oh my God. My bad. Hold on. We gonna drop about 30 seconds of my boy Montego's song real quick. Can we get that?
You sound to lip sync to it. I'm talking.
Go like Minnesota. No, they can't touch the road. Top down and
They can hear you now, too.
touch down back and
They can hear you
down.
now, too.
Hold up to the palace.
Swaggy B on
Yeah.
All right, this your song, right? All right.
I bossed up, I'd rather see you when you're succeeding. See you when you're succeeding. Martin Luther King, I'm dreaming, obsessed, I'm fiending. I pray that you achieving all your dreams. LeBron, I'm coast to coast. I'm raging with the demons. They fire dragon breathing. Go like Minnesota. My heart is frozen over. My soul is really beaming. Anointed, I was chosen. Ain't got no trust no one. I can keep it close like Beckham. I came to run that back up. I came to raise the standards. Always that I had banished. I started to kick that bad bitch. I jumped in the beginning. I reinvented minutes. Then it just gotta clean it. I know it's been a minute. Open heart, go the distance. Rise up out of the trenches. Hold that faith in your vision. Got you hard in your feelings. Frozen tired of ambition. This one here for new dollars. This one here for the children. Fire blaze like a phoenix. I bossed up, I'd rather see.
All right.
That new Montego, you know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? Can I get a...
I've been abducted.
All right, hold on. You haven't been abducted yet. Hold on. Yeah, you're in the beam tractor. What he said. I don't even know what that is. I do know what that is, but what he said, you in the tractor.
Yeah, okay, I'm still getting enculturated.
Yeah,
okay.
you enculturated, if that's a word.
Is that a word?
Nah, for real, I just learned that word this week. I'm gonna start using it.
So I got a question for you, Montego.
Yeah.
Do you believe in aliens? Answer carefully.
Absolutely.
You do?
Absolutely.
You don't have to.
Believe in
Not that you. Yes, he has
like,
to.
Look,
He looks real.
I definitely
inviting.
believe in aliens. You know what I'm saying? I was that kind of kid.
You
for
were?
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So tell me what you think aliens are.
Extraterrestrial beings. You know, they're not from this earth. You know.
Okay. So have you ever met an alien?
Not that I know of.
Not that.
He did it again. Oh my God.
We gonna ask him again. Have you ever met an alien?
Yeah, I definitely met an alien.
Yeah.
Definitely.
You got 3 around you right now. We'll meet you outside if you say you haven't met an alien again. All right, so you don't think that you've met an alien in real life? Then how can you say that you believe in them?
It's just faith. I'm gonna just say that.
Okay. Faith. So you gonna take the religious approach? Are you a religious man?
I wouldn't even say it has nothing to do with religion. That's definitely more like spirituality.
Do you think aliens were in the Bible?
Do I think aliens were in the Bible? Could be, possibly.
That'd be wild.
That would be pretty crazy.
Do y'all think aliens were in the Bible?
I think they were. I actually have a book about it.
You read a book about it. What did the book say about aliens?
It said a lot. I'll give it to you. That way we
Yeah. What did the book say about aliens in the Bible?
It said that a lot of the technology that was actually used back then looked like it came from an extraterrestrial source. It wasn't of this earth.
Yeah.
It's called Visitations by Yahweh. It's amazing.
I actually have a book that's by someone from the Melchizedekian bloodlines. And that one, it's like this. It's called the Keys of Enoch, and it talks about the celestial alignment on how our galaxy and solar system and where it's shifting and where it's going and what that means for the energy. It was very interesting, but it mentioned a lot of. I gotta check out that book.
I need that.
I'm gonna have to tell me. Yeah, like
So,
definitely.
I need that book.
It's a time for Chef to say, me no nothing. It's my first time for
Why is this answerable?
Y'all don't think angels are aliens?
I mean, shoot.
Don't be scared. Don't be scared. Are angels aliens? Drakes, yes or no? Are angels aliens? Yes or no, Drake?
What if they could be multiple different species but considered aliens? I mean, an angel still. You know? Like, it was a different species.
What is an alien?
It's a Green Lantern. What if the angels were like the Green Lanterns? So they had, like, these people from all across the heavens, right? And they all were, like, given wings and shit. So, like, it's like they're actually, like, angels, right? But, like, it's like, this person looks completely different from that one, too. But it's still an angel.
So, Montego, what's an alien again? What did you say?
I assume that they're extraterrestrial beings. They're not from this earth.
Okay. So, are angels alien? Yes or no?
I think they would be considered an alien. Yes.
Okay. Are angels aliens? Yes or no?
You know my answer on this. It's me no nothing. That's why
I'm just here for the party. I'm just here for the party.
Hold on, because what's an alien?
An extraterrestrial being.
Somebody up here.
I don't even know what that means.
It's not terrestrial, so it's not from this earth.
We're going to pull up
It just
the
means not from this
Webster's
earth.
Dictionary of aliens. Okay.
I'm going to look up extraterrestrial.
All right, you look up extraterrestrial. I'm
see
going to
what
look up
aligns.
alien. Hold on. I'm going to look up. Oop. Now what? Now what?
It's sparks.
Its atmosphere.
Okay. Unfamiliar or disturbing, distasteful, relating to or denoting beings supposedly from other worlds, a foreigner, especially one who is not a naturalized citizen of the country, hypothetical or fictional being from another world. Isn't it crazy how in the dictionary it says that aliens are hypothetical?
I'm going to ask the audience.
Hypothetical, right?
Hypothetical.
Okay.
Right?
I mean, who
Okay.
knows if they even have a body like ours? It could be like completely something unseen because it
Like an
doesn't follow our
ethereal
physics.
body.
Right.
An ethereal. So let's go back to our question. Are angels aliens? They're not of this world.
Yeah.
They were created. They came down. The angels even slept with the humans and made Nephiums. I think that's how you say that.
Demigods.
Nephims. Yeah, demigods
Yeah.
and giants.
Oh, okay.
And
Titan.
all these supernatural things and we give them names like giants,
Titan.
but aren't they aliens procreated?
Could be. I think that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, they could. Who said that? Wait a minute. See, now y'all
Wait,
scared.
technically, wouldn't like the
scared.
Nephilim be like, you know, like if you have a kid in America but you're not from America, you know, like it becomes,
You
so,
calling
like,
them
the
mixed
Nephilim are
breed?
technically they're, like of Earth, right?
So you're saying they have aliens?
Yeah.
You call it a what? A Nephilim?
Yeah.
That's a giant.
If they touch the
The
Earth, and made it
Nephilim were the
onto-
children of the angels and men, the daughters of man, sons of God.
What if
So
they
How big?
did?
So can angels get like colossal size? if
yeah,
they-
so like the angels came down and made love with the humans,
That's the confusing part.
and then they birthed these big babies. Nobody said that the babies came out big, but they turned into giants.
I pray I don't get struck by lightning, but if there is such a thing like that, and
Oh
there's an
my
alien slugging them cakes, you could, hey, you could bless your encounter, or I'm not gonna fight it.
Oh my God.
Hey,
That
I'm
was
trying
spot
to-
on. That
I'm
was
trying
great.
What they say on Finding Nemo, I'm trying to ink, yo.
Hey, Mimi, in the real, can
What's up,
we get
what's up?
in the real? Can we get Chef being struck by lightning, please?
Ooh,
For
yeah,
that,
you know what?
please?
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna
Please,
try
can we
real
get-
hard.
Can we get him struck by lightning? Because not that he trying to. You can't say if a thing like that happened. They have bones
What you mean?
of the giants. They have fossils and bones and stuff of these big giants, and they are real. Like they're extinct.
It happened.
But then again, we don't know 70% of the earth that's covered by the ocean, so they could be still out
There could be
there.
more. There
I've
could be
heard of
more.
multiple sources from the military and some of their Middle Eastern confrontations actually was with some of these like giants per
Yes.
se. Apparently, and if you look up, it's like Love, Death, Robots or whatever. They have this episode in like season 4 or some shit where it's like these like they're fighting like or season 3, I don't know. They find like these giants or something, and it was literally in the Middle East, all this stuff, and I was like, yo, that's literally the story someone
Yeah.
else told me years ago, as well as someone else that was completely unrelated to that person.
I saw
From the
videos.
Shout out to
I saw
Love,
video.
Death, and Robots, though.
Man,
Yeah,
that's a
yeah,
good
it's
show.
good.
That's a good
Yeah.
show. Shows like that, you have got to start believing the things that you see. They say don't believe. That is something that we have got to unlearn. We have got to unlearn to stop believing what we see. You have to have discernment, and
It's like a don't look up type of
that stuff is
Oh,
real.
yeah.
Down to the metaverse, the Matrix, down to these creatures and the things that happen. It's like if the government don't document it, it didn't happen.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. They're
That's
able
actually
to
crazy.
call foreign things hypothetical in the dictionary. That means that people gonna grow up thinking like this is an option, that they can be aliens and not. Aliens are things that are not of this world.
And I think that's what's crazier is that even when the government goes ahead and says we have literal UFOs and thousands of documentations on it, when the the former Israeli defense minister, prime minister, he was even saying about what they've gone in contact with. It's been verified by governments, but I think there's this like whole shell of like, oh, we don't want to think about that, and I understand because it's like, how do you like?
I just
Living
want to
in
know why
reality,
the
man.
government alien looks so different from the biblical alien.
Damn, that's a damn good point.
Yeah.
Mimi got me on that one.
Why does
What the government alien look like?
It's a
The
gray
grays.
being
The grays, yeah.
with big eyes,
Oh, okay,
no
that thing.
features, or it's a predator
Yeah.
that's got all these appendages coming out of, and when it
Okay.
opens its mouth, its breath stinks and stuff
Okay.
like that. When I open up my mouth, my breath don't stink. I might
do
be a
sometimes.
predator, but when I open up my mouth, my breath don't stink. You feel me? So I'm just.
I might be a predator.
Let me think about that. 'Cause somebody gonna take that sound bite and make it go crazy. But yeah, like I wanted to bring up the biblical aliens because that's proven. We have bones, we have back, You know, everybody, you got people believe in the Bible. I believe in the Bible. I'm Baptist.
Straight up.
You know, and there's just things like that we can't deny. He made these things. You know what I'm saying? We came from God. He's not of this world, you know, and the earth got made, the trees, the animals, all of that. We're aliens to people. We're not whoever was before us, before he made us. Did you think there was nothing before us? Nothing? Y'all thought it was nothing?
It was a lot going on.
Yeah, she definitely.
No, honestly.
No, it was a lot going on before it was chaos. I mean, we read past that in the Bible. We always read there was chaos among the deep, but what does that mean? It was a whole bunch of stuff popping off.
Yeah.
God just brought order to it.
The table of periodic elements was going crazy. And then Professor Utonium accidentally Chemical X. You know what I'm saying?
Little spice.
Life on Earth.
Then the Homo sapiens were born.
So I'm gonna ask you about another alien that we talk about frequently on this podcast. We talk about the aliens of the deep sea. Do you believe that the fish and the things like the new jellyfish and the things that we're discovering are aliens?
You know what? I think that essentially, right? It's, you know, if we all are of God, right? Aren't we all part alien? You know what I mean? Because like, what keeps you moving? What keeps you going? When you die, you know, where your soul go? You know what I'm saying?
Uh-oh.
Yeah. You know, so I think that, yeah, you know, it's like,
I
what's
feel
the,
like you're being abducted.
Yeah, nah.
He looking around like, hey, him. Hey, that's how they be looking.
He said, you know what? I think he's starting to show. He's like, who am I? Who am I? I'm part alien. Everything I believed.
Montego just got.
It's like, why we even calling it alien? You know why? Because we don't. It's not just, you know, because we not familiar with it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, what is it? Because I heard it's all kinds of stuff going on down there we don't know about. You know what I mean? You know. So.
That's what she said.
So
I think that you're on the right path because you're right. So we're all aliens because we all had to be made, right? Mm-hmm. So we're not really aliens. They're the aliens. The people who consider themselves not aliens are the aliens because we were made on this earth.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like the other creatures.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yo, my girl came through with the thing.
What happened?
In the chat. I'm sorry, the chat.
What happened?
My girl came through with the real info.
What she said?
We talk about this stuff all the time. If there's a minimum of 10 dimensions, we know there's other creations a part of those dimensions. Boo, you came through with it.
What's her name?
Candy Zara. That's my girl.
Zara.
Y'all check out. That's my girl.
Candy Zara, we just gonna move to dimensions just for you.
Let's do it.
Now, I'm going to let you know, Zara of the Candy. Okay. We have some people who geek out up here, okay? So I would love to have your input. I may not understand everything, but for all scientific things that I don't understand, I default to Drake's.
That's what's up.
She passed everybody. No look past it.
Look, for real. She just she did.
So on to the dimensions, okay?
I think something that really shows that what she's saying, if you think about, you know, us, we are in a 3D, right? Mm-hmm. This 3D has a shadow that is the 2D. That 2D is moving. Mm-hmm. Now, if we know that there are dimensions higher than us, then it is the natural correlation that we are a shadow of a higher dimension, a higher density, a higher thing that creates us.
Yeah. And
that in itself is also us because we are the lineage of all of that. We are just experiencing consciously the shadows that is the form of 3D.
I like the way you said that.
Okay, so for y'all out there who don't know.
I like how you said that, baby.
I got you, Montego. I got you, Montego.
Gather myself here. Hold on.
Montego, I got you. He didn't know what he was walking into when he walked on the spaceship, but now he here, so now he's stuck. He's up. He's stuck. Okay, so. But what she's saying, Montego, do you watch Rick and Morty?
Once or twice, not really. I try to avoid TV.
That's right.
Hey, me too. Yeah.
But you know what Rick and Morty is.
Just a
You know
little
they
bit.
time travel or they're doing something where they're going into different dimensions. Right?
Okay.
That's what they're doing. They're going into alternative dimensions.
Okay.
Okay. So for y'all out there who do watch Rick and Morty, shout out. That's a lot of these dimensions that we're talking about. Now, Rick and Morty goes into alternative reality, saying that something can be happening here and something can be happening there at the same time. Or like a decision that I make now can affect me in an alternate reality. So it's that thing, but what we're talking about here is that there's different dimensions. So there's different stacks or layers of life that's bigger than us. Ooh, dang, did I just take you? This boy looked like I didn't even pay attention that much in school. I never looked my teacher in their eye. Never. But that's what we're talking about. And I do think that there's multiple dimensions. And I do think that we are experiments.
What's the fifth dimension?
Y'all about
The one where
to
y'all heard KRS-One talking about talking your head, the fifth dimension. That's what you talking about. When you talk, you can hear without ears. You know what I'm saying? That's what he was describing the fifth dimension as. I remember that one.
talk without
That was a
ears.
good video.
Yeah,
Like how
you
hear the
literally
voice
talk in your head, but you
in
hear, but you not. That doesn't take ears. You know what I'm saying? Like, what is that? Who you
What
talking
is
to?
that?
What is that?
He actually broke that down quite well. Like really.
We gonna revisit that. I'm gonna go watch that because I talk to myself all the time and people call me crazy.
They shouldn't. Nah, you saying that's saying.
You mean like out loud, or you talk about in your head?
First off,
I
did we
talk
ask
out
you to
loud.
judge?
No, I was just.
First off,
I feel like
judge.
we getting judged over here.
No,
You can't do that, man. You just got here.
I didn't say. Regardless, I'm in the fifth dimension, okay? So when they come in there ask me, I'm gonna be like, I'm the same one. I'm in the fifth dimension. Take your straight jacket there. But not in my head. I'm for real. Like I feel like I have not heard that before. That is something that's new to me. So I have to go and look it up a little bit.
Yana Live asks, how can she come on the show?
Yana. Follow me on Planet B Agency on Instagram and send me a message. And like and subscribe the channel.
Like and subscribe.
Like that.
Yeah.
But back to what we were saying. Yeah, I do feel like I talk in my head, and I do feel like I hear myself, but I feel like I have a lot of people in my head.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Personalities are just like,
I just feel the judgment coming.
Nah.
If people knock at my door after this show talking about it's time to go.
Listen, they'll be coming to get me too. My husband calls mine the Senate. He said, like, you got a bunch up there, don't you? And I'll be like, yeah, man, it depends on what day it is. He know that. That's why he's still there.
It's
That's
like,
another one.
I used to think it was like the old me talking to my new me, or like my conscious talking to me. Like, you know, I'm spiritual, so I would be like, that's like the Holy Spirit telling me. And then when I have conversations with myself, it's kind of like, I be working stuff out. Like, I be responding to myself. This happened. Now, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that.
I do that too.
And then this, that. And then, like, I'll be listening. Then I'll shoot somebody a look. And it's like I transmit that sentence right into their head. Like, they know what I'm talking about. They know what's going on with no context clue. Like, I could walk in here and look at Mimi, and she'll be like, oh, you want me to get some water? Like, nothing that has to do with the cosmic crew. You know, like, I just feel like that's what they mean when they say we're vibrating on the same frequencies.
Calling Cap. I looked at all of y'all one episode. I needed some water. I was choking. What was that look then? I'm gasping. I'm like, hey, guess what? They start thinking I was dancing and shit. No, like, I'm dying. Okay?
Maybe we heard you and we thought you should have been more responsible.
If that was the episode with the wine, I plead the fifth. And I'm going to say that shit's my fault.
We all got to plead the fifth on that one.
But, yeah, I think that's us vibrating on the same frequency. I don't know this dimension thing, but I'm going to look a little deeper into what KRS-One said. Shout out to him. Traveling through dimensions. What y'all feel about that?
I feel like we do that. We do that when we go to sleep. We do that during meditation. We do that when we're trying to manifest, because you got to get yourself to the higher space where you're becoming what you want to be, whatever that is, and you have to bring that frequency back to this time, so you're dimensionally traveling all the time. So even with your choices you make, you travel.
I agree with that. Now that I'm learning what dimensions what dimensions are not, I would agree with that, because I feel like people think like dimensions are time traveling. Another thing that I say frequently on this podcast is that we unlock different percentages of our brains, which causes you to vibrate at a different frequency. I can't always say higher, but a different frequency. And the alien is a person who vibrates as their highest self. So I feel like that's true. It's frequencies that we're on, like sleeping, and that's like a frequency. We got a REM cycle. We got, our eyes are moving at a different frequency. When we're upset, we're at a different frequency. Our brain is at a different frequency. When we're disciplining ourselves, we're training, we're unlocking that percentage of our brain. So we're open to more transmissions, you know, and we can see different things. I'm not going to get too deep into angel numbers, but y'all will know that I love those. But I feel like you can't see those until you open your mind and you're open to them. Like, you'll see them, but you won't recognize them. Go ahead.
I was going to say something about the frequencies you were mentioning. So if you think about, like, you got radio waves, you got, you know, megahertz and gigahertz, which is what our phone operates on, right? Each of those requires a different antenna. Each of those sends a different amount of energy, a different amount of information. So it's, I think the magic in what we are is to be able to take something that is normally this like top-down scale, this ladder of frequencies, and turn it into a field that we could travel across to get whatever we need. So we're not always just doing that. We're actually just traveling up and down, because I think we also get stuck on like, oh, I have to be at this like level right now, when really our body is calling us to get at a low, not lower, like lower is almost like a bad connotation, I feel like, because, you know, we have lower chakras type of thing, or energetic centers that we need to, you know, work on, we need to do stuff with. So I think that the thing with frequencies that's really interesting is more so our ability to traverse them in the places that are appropriate, or the times that are appropriate for us.
Sir, when's the book coming out? That was good. I like that.
I do also agree with that, because I just said something about higher frequencies, and I neglected the lower frequency, and I said, well, different frequencies. So I must say, I'm one person who think about climbing frequencies, like it can or it can but when you think about sleeping, you're lowering your frequency so it can relax.
I think, like, just speaking to what Drake's was saying about, instead of it being a ladder, it being a field, I think we get to travel that field when we're balanced. And so, therefore, even when we're sleeping, like, those people would be lucid dreamers, like the people that can walk even in their sleep. You know what I'm saying? So, but I feel like in order to make it that field, instead of a ladder, it takes balance, and finding that balance. I like that. That was good. You just, my journal about to be lit when I get home.
How you feeling, Montego?
I got so many questions and everything popping up. Like, yo, last night my car turned off at 3:33 a.m.
Okay, that's
Today I burned 555 calories on my when I was inline skating in Katy Trail. I was like, I'm gonna write a rap about that shit, but
That's crazy because you're being abducted and you're seeing synchronicities. That all goes together.
Yeah, positive vibes travel. Regardless, you put something good in somebody's life, it can make their day. They know something's good gonna happen today. Something dope, and it really energizes you. But yeah, those positive frequencies will travel. From what I hear, we're gonna do. Not from what I hear, we are gonna. Okay, we are going to do an episode on angel numbers. So I'm not gonna get too deep into it because that's like. Yeah, we're gonna get into that one. That might be a special hour show. He told me to check the comments. What's going on in the comments? They lit.
4,000 degrees.
4,000 degrees.
On the line, ready.
On the line, y'all on the line.
Oh, okay.
Y'all on the line. Tell me, what you got to say? What she got to say about the dimensions and the?
She said she coming on the cash.
You
can come on the cash, shorty. You know what I'm saying, but you gotta clear that.
I think Yana was the one who said that she had intercourse with the alien.
Yeah, I think that was her. Yeah, we definitely
her.
gotta have her.
I am a Martian.
I mean, we all got here.
Nothing.
We all got here by procreation with the aliens. So I mean, you just said. So more than likely, you slept with an alien too.
Probably so.
Just not that you're thinking about who it was.
You started. You started.
He was
all over his
He was like that trick that she did that one time.
Out of this world.
Or the way that I was stuck last time.
How you get like you need.
Shout out Tendrils and Twigs checking in on the chat.
Yes. Just a quick Tendrils and Twigs. That's where I always get my hair.
When I had my hair, they did mine too. Now I'm bald.
That's where we always get our hair. Shout out to our sponsors. But yeah, getting back to it, angel numbers and things like that. You seen 333, 555. Again, I feel like you've been seeing them your whole life, but you're just now being able to recognize them because you're just now ready for them. And that's not just with angel numbers, that's with other things because knowledge can drive people crazy. Crazy. Like, even knowing what happens, there's so many episodes of people knowing or figuring out how to figure out when they're going to die or how to control their future or things like that. And it's always ending in disaster or them getting caught up in a circle or life. They just stop living life. And knowing things, that's not for everybody because you have to be humble enough to know what to do with that knowledge and also how to disperse it because if you know the truth and you give a bias, then that's how we end up with great alien heads and big eyes and stuff like that. And I just find it funny how all that stuff is always covering up something, but the Bible is sitting here telling, don't get me started. And not covering up nothing, and we refuse to call them aliens. But it's okay. But yes, we have to be open to receive things like that. We have to be open to unlearn what we know because me as a Christian woman and as a Baptist, energy and crystals and things like that are considered witchcraft.
Same.
So it's kind of like difficult to unlearn some things and me say, okay, God is bigger than what even the Bible has been told to me. So we have to learn new things, and we're in an era where it is about frequency, vibrations, metaverse, matrix. So, God gonna know how to speak to us because we're evolving. We can't go with the traditional burning bush. We have to go with this. We see these numbers from these higher, we're able. They say that it's our last days. If you ain't got the seal of the mark, how you gonna be able to hear God? You know what I'm saying? Like, all of this starts to make sense, but the old saints reject it, and the new age refuse to call it what it is. But it's just the all-knowing omnipotent, but y'all think that y'all know more, or y'all heard this and this is a fact, but facts evolve. We heard of a dinosaur that turned into an ox. You know what I'm saying? He evolved. Same thing with this. He can't talk to us the same way because we don't listen the same.
I mean, I feel like he was always talking in the same way, and they wrote it down to the best of their ability. Because even when you go back and you learn the Hebrew and you just read the earlier versions of the text, they call things different things. King James called it, what he called it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. But if you go deeper, this stuff has always been around. God always been speaking about these things. So to the Hebrew, that was all of the things we learned now were common sense to the Hebrew. You know what I'm saying? But yeah.
Also, there's this book that I read called The Law of One. And they actually went into detail because basically the whole premise of that book was these three scientists that were in a lab together. And one of them had actually been able to get into these unconscious yet channels. So she was talking, and they had someone that would ask her questions, and then another person that was different that would write down what each person was saying. So each person had one role. And in that book, it told a lot about different information that was like how they get this information. But the biggest thing is that the language in that book is very precise because it's scientist-student channel. So the vocabulary that they're allowed through the channeling is a lot more depth. And when it talked about how this was really interesting. It talked about the history of our Earth and how there was basically like humans that were here. They were calling out to the universe, which opened a hole for a connection to come through. That connection apparently was actually other aliens, and that it was like an entire group, and it was under Yahweh that they actually even mentioned that. And it was this entire thing. It was like they go very into it because they even talk about what it brought with it, and like the challenges that humans had faced with another different species coming and stuff like that, and all these things coming together on Earth. Like Earth has been a long political battleground for like other species.
I told you we're an experiment. We are an experiment. We so messed up on this Earth. They about to blow us up and start over.
There's been too many things.
We are
too many things.
Elon Musk let me on the ship that's going to go out. Let everybody else blow up.
I want to take it.
They're about to take us out. They are mad that we not performing, and then we got all these deformities and stuff down here. We like they horses. They ready to take us out, and just that's why they say that countries are starting to speak to the aliens. They always been speaking to the aliens.
Yeah.
They always been, but people choose to believe scientists who are the only people who research, but there's the scientists who believe and the scientists that don't believe.
Mm-hmm. And then there's private scientists, too, that they put their own work out in books and YouTube and all of that, and the mainstream neglects to, honor it. You know what I'm saying?
Because it's actually a publish or perish, economy for doctorates and stuff. So if you are not publishing enough, and if what you're trying to publish isn't, peer reviewed. It's
yeah,
not
I hate
gonna
that.
have any weight.
Peer review?
I hate that word.
What if, listen, and then there's people like me, you feel me, who might meet an alien and tell you the truth that I met an alien, and then I am an alien, and then nobody believes me.
Wait a minute now. I ain't gonna say all that. We jumping to conclusions over here.
Hot seat.
Yeah.
My man been in the hot seat, okay?
Yeah.
You walked in.
Yeah. It's cool though. That's because you said that you hadn't met aliens. Before the show, I said if you say that I'm not an alien on this live stream, we will have an issue. So now we have an issue. Houston, do we have a problem?
I thought we could play it back. I thought we agreed.
You want to play it back real quick?
I thought we agreed. Okay, you're an alien. I just didn't know what you mean by it. You know what I mean? I think it has multiple meanings. People take it in all kinds of ways. Like, what do you mean by alien?
I feel like you're backtracking because I told
I agree
you.
with you.
I told you. No, I'm playing. But yeah, I just feel like all of our research, people pick to say which research is credible. But I always bring up the biblical standpoint because that's research and not research.
Yeah.
You know, people are researching the Bible more than the Bible being researched. Their accounts.
Yeah.
And then let's keep in mind there's some books that's not in the Bible.
Yeah. Definitely. Like Enoch has dragons. Like what? When I read that, it blew my mind. You know what I'm saying?
There's a lot of things that are unsaid, and since they're unsaid, they must not be there. But there's a reason why they're unsaid. There's a reason why the biblical aliens look different than the government aliens, and there's a reason why when you hear, oh Lord, please don't come in my house. When you hear about aliens in the government, it's always something going on. Yeah. It's always some type of military man. It's always some type of... And I did my research when I first started this podcast, this YouTube. When we first started the Cosmic Cast, one of the things that we deeply researched was the first abduction. That is one of the things that all of us had to research. I put it in the group. And then we researched some other abductions. We did. Yes. Right. At the ages that we are, we did some research, you know, and it just always links to something government.
You know what's interesting?
Every time.
No, you good. I was thinking about how, like, organisms across the world that have no link to each other have, like, grown, and wondering, like, okay, these organisms have similar intestines, even a little similar sometimes. I've seen, like, completely separate sides of the world. And I wonder how that would look, you know, on different planets, per se, and if there is something to do with, like, I want to say gravity, right? If, like, the sun itself, and this was kind of mentioned in the Law of One, too, if the sun itself and its gravitational effect on the planets itself had the effects that it had for life to form, so that it formed in the way that it did. Therefore, if it was on Venus and a human was born, or another planet, they have the possibility of having similar intestines, maybe even looking kind of similar. So then when we talk about aliens now, and them coming to Earth, what if there are ones that look similar to humans, did stuff with humans, and just because they look like they're human doesn't mean they're actually like the...
That is I, said the cat. And just because we look, they like to call us androids or like different types of like with androids, you know, like that's the electronic version. Like when you look like a human or a shapeshifter or something like that. Hey, shout out to all the cosmic members in the comments. I see y'all going crazy. Hey Mimi, I see you too. Shout out to Mimi. But I do feel like there are a lot of things, and another thing that I want to touch on before we wrap up is, again, there are similarities between, they call it the Pangea and things, and then we split off from there, or we all come from the motherland, Africa, and then we all split off from there. We're just all aliens. You know, it doesn't have nothing to do with where we like originated. That's why they can't figure out where we originated, because things were created and put here. So it's kind of like maybe there's multiple people who's right where there's origins. Yeah. What does that mean? That means that multiple things were being created at the same time. That shouldn't be so mind blowing. And as far as like these things, I will always say on this show that there is so much on this earth that we just don't know. With 70%, with us only knowing 30%, and that's what we think we know. That's arrogance. That's what we think we know. Like he said, something could be standing in front of you and you not recognize it. That's what I mean about angel numbers. Something can be standing in front of you, and unless it hurts you, you don't recognize it. You know, angel numbers have to repeat repeat, and then you recognize it. You know, it's just we don't know enough for people to document things and say that's what it is. And we feel more than what we see. So you got to keep that in mind. You know, you're going to know some things can't be proven because you don't have the means to prove them. Sometimes that's skill and knowledge and not just technology. Or it's capacity. You're not ready. It'll drive you crazy if an alien came down here and said, this is what you really are. You might go crazy. And then be a movie on Lifetime. You know. But yeah, so I want to thank y'all for tuning in to the Cosmic Cast today. So let's ask Montego one more time. Montego, are aliens real? Do you believe in aliens?
Shit, I'm sitting with him. I'm sitting with him.
Yeah.
Hey, my bro said you're not getting me twice.
Get this guy a shirt.
Yeah, shirts are available, y'all. So, y'all make sure y'all tune in every Sunday with the Cosmic Cast. I want to thank my Cosmic crew for always coming in and landing y'all spaceships for me. I want to thank VVS Media for always hosting us. And I want to thank my guy, Montego, for turning from human to alien. Do you feel abducted?
Absolutely. I abducted today.
All right, y'all. Until next time, we signing out. I am Mother Alien. Bye.